Yeah, YouTube is. I think it's just that page, bro. Let's try it again.
We good now?
Good.
Yeah. That sound good now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Slocky, man. I don't know, man. We had to do the live stream, but anyway, our first one should pop up, so we just gonna continue to go into it. So we're gonna leave the first precept. Brother got precept in him out.
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11.
Spirit. Let pull the
Oh, you
same
got it, brother.
preset. No, go ahead.
Okay.
That's the
It
spirit.
says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
It says it's high time to wake up out of sleep now. So it's time to wake up and see what the hell is going on in the world, bro. All right, all this breaking news, you got all these narratives that's being twisted, and yet America is still asleep, man.
Yeah.
Still want to go out and party and watch the Super Bowl and, go everyday lives and live their lives. Look, this shit is cooked, bro. You know what I'm saying? Jobs are being cut left and right. Inflation is getting ready to go up. Hell, gas went up. It was 259, 249 about a month ago, because how long they've been in this Iraq war? Iran for 4 weeks, about a month.
3 weeks ago,
Yeah, and gas shut up like that. And the reason why it's not $10 a gallon is because, Trump tapped into the reserves whatsoever. But they're attacking facilities, man. You got blackouts out there in Southern Cali, and that's just a calm before the storm, because they're talking about energy lockdowns now, which allegedly certain countries are already locking down from energy crisis, man. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get right. So, brother, how about you? So hey, man, this ain't the time to play games and promote our own agendas.
Yeah.
It's time to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man.
Right.
All right, because shit, hey, you guys out there that don't see that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, hey, you got to get with the program, because these energy crises that can lead very well to a grid outage and shut down and them quarantining everybody and fitting you with the chip. Because there was this video that came out of 2019. I forgot the guy's name, but it goes into Project Zypher. And he was breaking down the tenets of Project Zypher about how it's a foreload to the New World Order, and how the elites of the society will cause blackouts and polycrisis and in certain situations to transpire on the earth. That way, when blackouts come, they can go and grab people up in the middle of the night and take them to these concentration camps, those that oppose the New World Order. Going back into 2023 Davos, when they say that the year of polycrisis and that prepare for an angrier world and cyber attacks and you will own nothing and be happy. Hey, we're seeing it.
Yep.
Okay.
He got them lists too, even using AI to track who he knows is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Through AI, these various experiments he's been doing, 2020, the feminist movement, people who go online, George Floyd, he's watching what you say online, what you do, you're going to bitch up or you're going to get with the program. So he already has an idea before these polycrises start happening. Man.
God.
But you don't have the time you think you do, man. Like the people in Southern LA, you know they had plans to go out, but what happened? The power went out.
Man.
And hey, the people go to the spirit world when the lights go out, man.
Yeah. Because everything is running on an electrical grid. So when you got everything that's running on an electrical grid, I have to really watch this, because Satan, he get active. He like, yeah, all right, I got you. The hook. Get that hook on there. Satan, man, he like to get active down here, bro. He like, yeah, y'all think y'all finna go smoke? Nah, bro. Damn devil. It's all good though, cause he ain't gonna stop showing you how I should have a shot. But yeah,
right.
man, like the brother said, bro, like the LA blackout. Imagine when this society goes dark. All right, and when Kansas City gets hit with a power outage and it doesn't come back up for weeks, what these people gonna do, man? They gonna resort to rioting, looting, and just the fact there will be no social media, that's gonna send these women to a frenzy, bro.
Oh, man.
Because see, we know the average American, they're full of pride, envy, lovers of themselves. This is a totally narcissistic society, man. And once the dainties get cut off in this place, that's when desperation will set in. That's when people are gonna start to lose it. They're gonna lose hope. Hell, you go to work now, the morale is very, very low. know what I'm saying? I went to work yesterday, and it may only been like 2 or 3 people from my department there. And this was like the second, third week in a row that it was like that on a Friday. I go in the parking lot, people are taking off left and right. You know, they're cutting programs left and right. I'm just like, well, damn, you know, we in them times. Hell, my own supervisor, she's like, man, I need some time away from this place. She said, I'm going to take a couple of months. She said, I'm counting down to retirement, 24 months. I said, baby, you ain't even got 24 months. But I'm like, you know, hey, I feel you. But it was spiritual, though, because, shit, we are looking to retire from this place, bro. You know, because when the missiles hit, which they will hit, all these people out here that don't get right with the Heavenly Father, talking about you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're going to take place or take part in that lake of fire, man. That's right. We've been talking about for so many years and decades, man. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 12. It says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. But put ye on the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof.
Yeah, bro. It said, don't make no provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So Passover should be solemn assembly, man. It shouldn't be a Jodeci concert or, you know, everybody's lusting after one guy because he got a nice vocals. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be solemn, man. But see, Jake used the provisions of the flesh to get rich and big in this world, man. Which is nothing wrong with making things happen for yourself. But see, you got to remember the mission is to serve the Lord and to put the work of the Heavenly Father at the forefront. Because remember, this is going to burn up all the riches in this society here. The missiles, man. That's why the scriptures say that the works there should be burnt up and the elements should melt with what? Fervent heat. So all this stuff that Esau is building up, like, we ain't been down here maybe 2 months or so. And they ain't really made progress on this building up here because you know why? They're running out of money. You know, you would thought this shit would have been up and running by now. Leasing out, but hey, it still looks the same, don't it?
Yeah, they're trying to get them ready. You can tell they kind of rushing.
Yeah.
Slapping that shit on there.
Yeah. You know, but low key, they running out of money because the city is a couple of million deficit behind, man. You know?
And it says, verse 12 again says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point right there, man. The night's been going on, the pressure's been building up, but now you see that daylight crack. Oh shit, you know, shit about to hit the fan real soon. Because that day is talking about the day of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, which is not going to be a day of partying and kicking it in peace.
Yeah.
It's going to be the revenge of Yahweh Shai, who the world really calls Jesus Christ.
Sir.
He's coming to get his lick back, man.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot more increase in chariot sightings. They're calling them drones, mysterious drones, you know. And they also happen to be appearing around the same areas that's on the targets for Iran. So some of them could be Iranian drones.
Oh shit,
Any
bro.
day now, man, they about to hit this place in a major way.
Y'all saw that meteor that flew over Texas, the asteroid, and also in down there in Ohio, they said it hit in some part of Ohio, and they heard it all the way down to Pennsylvania, man. They said they heard like a loud boom. And I mean, usually, you know, you got asteroids and stuff that may hit the earth, but they hit like off their burn up before they get into the atmosphere. Hey, chariots could have been shooting fireballs or something, man, because these are hitting like in cities and stuff, man. You know, and the Lord said it. He said, look, we're going to see strange signs from heaven. So you see an asteroid fly over your head, bam, and hit something 40, 50 miles away, and it caused a disruption in one part of the city. Hey, that's the spirit of the Lord, man.
Yeah, because they're saying they want to target the electrical grids, and so it's no coincidence that you got parts of Cali that's in the blackout.
Yeah.
And it's a spirit that they call a meteor that flew over Ohio, because they used to live in that same region. And it flew over and exploded right next to that nuclear power plant, which is a target. And I remember as a kid going on a fucking boat and on Lake Erie, and you could see it. If you travel far enough on Lake Erie, you'll see that big ass smokestack for the nuclear power plant. And I used to always think to myself, man, why the fuck they got this shit on
a lake,
on a fresh water source that everybody drink from, Lake Erie? You know, why would they put that there? I was like, one day this is dangerous. I always felt uneasy being around in that area, and that's the spirit that now all of a sudden a meteor happened to explode right there. Then you had that major oil refinery that exploded in Texas.
Yeah. Oh, they changed the narrative, brother, because at first they said it was due to some type of failure or some type of whatever exploded inside. But then if you catch like certain tabloids, they mentioned that Iran hit it.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
changed it though because there was no evidence that Iran did anything.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? See,
So
this
they
double
say.
change the narrative, man.
yeah. I always, from jump, I was skeptical that those were meteors because, like what your brothers were saying, it's too much of a coincidence, man.
Yeah.
That Valero plant, that's one of the biggest refineries in the U.S.
The
bro.
U.S. Yeah.
Right.
Right there off the Gulf.
And we've been hitting their shit.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
you knows what
yeah.
Iran does is they monkey see, monkey do. Whatever we hit that's theirs, that's what they strike to hit ours.
They did hit him, America.
Yeah.
They
They
stared.
won't even admit that how many soldiers got clipped in that first little exchange. You know, and that was overseas when you expect people to go down. So you think they're gonna admit if Iran is actually able to, you know, have weapons deployed over here, man?
No.
Because one thing about them drones, people don't realize, them Shahed drones, I was looking into them. They can make them drones anywhere from 20,000 to like 50,000, depending on how much range they have.
Yeah.
Those drones are like, you could carry it on your backpack. You could literally strap it to you. It's probably like 3 feet long, but it's got 100 pounds of explosives on it. You can plant those anywhere, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you could have that shit set off over in the border of Canada. You know, track through the wilderness.
Yep.
You just have it, and then just have it go off. You know, so they really, you know, have no defense for these Iranians, man.
And then on top of that, modern technology, like they use carbon fiber so it can't be detected by radar.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
they're small enough, it's just gonna look like a geese or a duck on a radar.
Bro, facts.
You know, so what the technology is, all you gotta do, there's a certain height, I forget the name of it, but it's a certain wind current you can catch. A lot of planes hop on where they can just basically turn their engines off and they can just cruise. So it ain't for nothing for them to have an unmanned aerial vehicle, okay, that's got technology that they can just send hundreds of them, and all of a sudden they make it over. It might take a couple days, but eventually they'll reach here. So you pay attention, it matches up with what's going on with the news reporting, because they're saying he had all those drones reported last week that was over the East Coast again. There was an influx of them. There was like hundreds of them. People said they were calling them mysterious drones, and all of a sudden, coincidence, all these refineries getting hit in the United States.
But you remember at the beginning of last year when they was flying those drones, they was saying that it could be like China or Russia. They was already trying to blame it on. They was already trying to spread that narrative over a year ago. You know, and then, you know, some of them could have been chariot sightings, but then they come out and admit, you know, the U.S. government or whatever, the fucking Pentagon, they was out testing shit. It's a lot of different narratives that they're putting out there, man. But regardless, you're not going to get the complete truth here in America. All right? I got a quick precept. It's the book of Revelation 6, and I'm going to start at verses 2. And it reads, it says, when he had opened when he had opened the second seal, I heard I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and that was given unto him a great sword. So we know who that red horse is. It's talking about this devil, this Edomite, man, because, you know, he can't let bygones be bygones, but instead he wants to take everything. Like, you go in the Middle East, I mean, you know, it's open borders, and you have a closed system through the Mediterranean, but everybody has their form of livelihoods, and he just wants to come and take it. Like going down to Venezuela, they said that the Venezuelans was willing to make a deal with him, you know, and split the profits down the middle, but this dude said, nah, I want to go over there and I want to take it. You know, like, dude, like, what do you, like, bro, you got enough resources to sustain your own society.
Yeah.
You know, and if you wasn't doing people dirty, then they wouldn't be trying to de-dollarize your currency. You know, but you want to play, you know, you want to be dirty, man. And that's the spirit of the drone right there.
Hey, because even them Exxon executives was like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea, because he knew that Trump wasn't cutting no economically, he was trying to take it.
Yeah.
So what that makes it is a military operation. They were like, no, they gonna rebel, man. That Colombian Venezuelan militia, bro, they'll fuck you up, man. You go in that jungle if you want to, man. You know, so Exxon was even like, no, but see, Trump has got that bold demon on him. I'm gonna just take shit. You know?
But the Lord got a spirit on him.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 8. If you know, Wisdom of Solomon is talking about the mindset of the elites. But it says, Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 8, let us crown ourselves with rosebuds, if they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our own voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Let us oppress the poor and righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Right, when them niggas shut down the whole electricity for the island of Cuba. They didn't give a fuck who's on that island, man. And there's people still without electricity right now, man. So they don't give a fuck if you niggas starve in Cuba right now. Eventually it's gonna come down to they don't give a fuck if you niggas starve here in America, man.
Right. Yeah.
But it say, let us oppress the poor and righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice.
Yep.
For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth, man. So that just goes with y'all saying. They strength and they might and their ability to delete people, that's gonna be their justice. If they felt like doing it, well, it was right at that time, man.
Read that last part again, bro.
Yeah, this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 11. It says, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
You remember, what was that shit we used to have to sing? We at school, elementary school, we used to have to do the Pledge of Allegiance. That folly, right? And they said, I think part of it goes into, justice, something like that. I can't remember, nor do I care to remember. But the Pledge of Allegiance, it deals with America's version of justice, which is
liberty and justice.
Liberty and justice for all. But wait a minute, if it was liberty and justice for all, then why do you got people in bondage here, man?
Right.
Why you have a prison industrial complex that was founded on lies
Yeah.
and in private corporations, man?
Yeah.
Why did you change hip hop into gangster rap to be justified on locking up a certain group of people, man,
Yep.
to commit crimes? But you talking about liberty and justice for all? There ain't nothing liberty about this, because why am I paying taxes? Why am I paying rent?
Right.
Why am I subjected to a plot of land?
Yeah.
Why do I have to pay a freaking taxes on,
Yeah. Why didn't you pay the Gadites?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
all of this land you stole, man. Because what Esau won't tell you in these so-called language like that, and it makes sense because they didn't see us as people.
Yep.
So they made us animals. They was no different than, well, obviously we weren't talking about cattle and livestock, but that's the category that he put us in, man.
Mhm.
So Edomites would come up here and say, well, we were enslaved too. A slave is not the same as what we were in the triangle slave trade, man.
Yeah.
Slaves, ain't nothing wrong with having a slave, but what we were was cattle, man. Less than,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
They literally did all kind of unspeakable things to us, and they boasted in it, man.
Well, they gonna go back to that. Esau's gonna be lower than dog shit in our kingdom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dog shit is gonna be more respectable than Edomite.
That's right, man. It's only fair, man.
Yeah, I was going to add to your point, treating us like cattle. They even ate us like cattle. They had a book called The Electrical Negro, man. And we think just damn near every single plantation owner was involved in that shit.
Yeah.
And was selling slaves to be
What's
used
up,
for
bro?
food.
Yep.
Just for that purpose.
That's right, man.
That's why this devil's got to go, man.
They mentioned that even the boys Edomites had the average of 4.5 slaves, man. So Edomites, and you had 2 slaves, you was doing good. 3 slaves, 4 slaves.
A slave is about the price of a car today. So that'd be like somebody walking around with 4 cars. You got 4 cars, man. You got
You sitting on something,
You
man.
ain't like you rich, but you got something.
Yeah, you
know?
got an average of 4 slaves too, man, and then the sugar cane fields and the tobacco field, all that, man, bro. Esau was getting a bag off Jake, bro.
Oh man.
The whole concept of Wall Street started off slavery, man. Bidding, that's what it is, and down there they're still auctioning off Jakes, man. Your social security numbers, like, bro, I did the research on it years ago. They was like, if you go, it's something called the straw man theory, right? And they go into like a corporation will be like, if you see this business, it will be in all caps because it's a dead entity, which is a corporation. 2 birds is what it's called, all caps. You see, when you look at a driver's license or a state ID, your name is all caps. Why? Because you're a dead entity. Okay, and they was going into how, like, when people type in their social security numbers, it's attached to like some type of bank account with millions of dollars in it because they're profiting off you, man. You're dead, but they're profiting off you. So people was crashing out. Well, let me get my money. Let me get my money. You can't get that money, man. You know what I'm saying? That's your slave. You're a slave to this system.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta pay insurance now.
Yeah.
Because the concept of insurance really started to get popular with cargo insurance.
Cargo.
Dealing with boats, and the cargo wasn't, fucking tablets and iPads. It was Jake, man.
People.
Yeah.
It was the Israelites, to be specific.
Yep.
They knew who they was gonna grab, man.
That's why they say protect your investment. Why you think when you go to the NBA, like a good movie that showed you that was the movie Him, when they was analyzing him, they was scoping him up, they was looking at his body.
Yeah, I
Okay,
still gotta see it.
yeah, man. They was looking at him like, oh, okay, this is a good slave, and they had to put more money into him to invest in him so he can bring back bigger return.
Yeah.
So LeBron, MJ, they will have the best health care, the best doctors, the best chiropractors, and they have a high, bro. Esau put a bag on them fucking NBA player. You know the insurance premium on them niggas, man.
Yeah. And for your draft. So if Esau say, hey, you need to repair your ACL, you can't say I don't want to do that. Hey, and this gonna come down to the time. Hey, you gonna need to get a C hip.
Yep.
You can't say no because you want that check, don't you?
Yep.
And that's in their contract, bro.
How many insurance policies you think Amalek had on MJ?
Oh man, all of them.
Yeah.
All of the insurance policies, man.
Yeah, like if they end up tearing his ACL, man, you know, they gotta have money on that. Every injury, they gonna get cashed out on that, man.
Yeah. With that guy Larry Silverstein, he had the insurance on the
On Trade Towers, yeah.
Yeah, he took another one out on that U.S. Bank in L.A.
Saw that.
Yeah, that means they're getting ready to make their move on them.
This system for the crash, man.
Yeah.
Because he did the same thing before the towers fell. He took a big policy out, and all of a sudden, what was it? I don't know how many months it was later. Boom, the towers fell.
Doing the same shit.
Yep.
It's Habakkuk 2 verse 8. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
Yeah, that's why Esau is getting spoiled now. This is why all the nations, the Saudis, all that, they getting ready to cut this place off, man, because see, they went over there and they caused wars that they didn't have no business on causing, and then they're causing inflation in their own economy. Because see, how can you go and put a gun in somebody's head when you need them to sustain your economy? Like, how stupid can you be?
Right.
That's why the
Israel's
scripture say.
trying to see the fall of America. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah, they
But they gonna fall themselves trying to take
but
America down.
at
That's what they don't
that
get.
level, they don't look at countries like borders and stuff. They don't operate that way.
Yeah.
We do as normal people because we think democracies and shit are a real thing. But you get past a certain level, it's just people that got the wealth
we
access.
don't live in a real democracy, though.
Right?
Nah,
no.
This is totalitarian,
This-
brother.
Well,
They call it a republic, but this is
so when you get up there and you start
it's really an oligarchy, man.
the moment you start hearing people talk about democracy and rights and red and blue, you already know they don't know what's going on.
They don't.
Because grab Ephesians 6 real quick, Baba Kushah. The real enemy, all right, they do things and cut deals without your consent behind closed doors, man.
Yeah.
Okay? They tell you what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
What a politician is, they're there to pacify you over things they're already gonna do. You know, they're there to say nice words. That's why they lie so much. Because they're not there to ask you for a vote.
Yeah.
They're just trying to calm you down and make sure you don't riot, you don't pick up weapons, and you don't get out of control. But now they don't really need politicians anymore because people saw on their phones.
That's what a 9 to 5 is too.
Yeah. Hey,
It's called the illusion
Henry
of choice.
Ford said, man, he said if people understood, like going back into the 2020 ordeal, they convinced everybody to go put a such and such in their arm. And then years later, all of a sudden, turbo cancers went up 3,000%. But see, they played on people's minds to believe in the system when the system was never formed.
Yeah.
Like Henry Ford said, he said, look, man, if people understood the monetary system and what money really is, they would be in the streets tomorrow rioting. Because they've gotten people pacified with what they call legal tender, which is $1, but it
It's
has
fake.
no value to it. It's fake.
It's fake.
But
Yeah.
why aren't people riding behind that? What will happen with are we gonna auction off what he say? He said we're gonna audit Fort Knox and see if the gold is there, but yet
Yeah,
ain't
those.
nothing. Yeah, what happened with that? Where's the money?
That
Nobody.
those shit
Money's
lasted
not
2
backed
months,
by
they
gold.
shut it down.
It's not.
Yeah.
But you got people that still believe that, and you got people that really believe that Fort Knox still have the gold that, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? So this society is totally they're totally
Why,
going.
that's why the Federal Reserve is private too.
It's private bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
private
they've been buying up all of the gold. So while they're telling you you don't need gold to back your buy, but they've been buying it though.
Yep.
Why are the central bank buying up all the gold if it ain't worth
If it
nothing?
ain't worth
Giving your ass paper.
You know, you got that, brother.
This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. It says, put on the whole armor of God that ye may be able to stand
Watch
against the wiles of the devil.
Shout out to them.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness, it's like against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
That's right, man. So you hear certain names, characters on television. Most people you see on television, they work for somebody that work for somebody that work for somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, all of this shit that you see going on, they work for somebody, man. You know, but the real wickedness, it says spiritual wickedness in high places.
You'll never see this.
Yeah, the wicked, they're not, the wicked, believe it or not, they're not atheists, okay? They actually believe in spiritual power, but it's on the left-hand side. They believe in Satan, literally. And see, it's taking all this for people to believe it's a conspiracy theory, the Illuminati. Now, all of a sudden, you got to drop
People are
$3 million.
starting to believe
Now,
it, yeah.
all of a sudden, now it's plausible now.
You know what, bro? That's funny. We've been bringing out the whole with the Epstein and the whole secret societies. Now you notice the Rothschild names are coming up.
Yeah.
They're mentioning the Rothschilds. We've been speaking on that. Personally, our apostles been teaching this word for 40 years, and they was bringing out this information back in the 80s and 90s, and people called us conspiracy theorists now. Now all of a sudden, things are coming out. Now you got TikTok influencers, and everybody just have all this profound knowledge, but where did they get it from? We've been
Yeah.
bringing out this information about the Illuminati, about the Rothschilds, telling you how they run and control countries, they set up oligarchs. We told people that for the longest, and people just like, say, yeah, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. But now it's all coming out. People see it.
Yeah.
Somebody give me that in Daniel. You got more than that Ephesians up?
Yeah, that was pretty much.
But even now, while he's grabbing that, not only are the Rothschilds' name coming up, the names that they changed their names to are now being tracked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
see,
there's-
because
there's
they have a habit of
multiple
changing their
sets of that
names.
family.
You know, one of
Yep.
our elders will call them the name changers. You know,
Yeah.
'cause that's their habit that they do. So now the Rothschilds,
Sorry.
you know, the modern day Rothschilds have their names changed. There's a
Yep.
Rothschild right now. She probably my age. She's probably in her 30s. You know, she don't have the last name Rothschild.
Oh, hell.
But she comes from that lineage.
Hell, Maxwell, Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell's
Yeah, the
father, they
Maxwell.
change their names all the time because they don't want to be able to be traced. Like you got what they call Meyer Amschel Bauer, but his name was changed from Bauer to Rothschild. Which when you go into Rothschild, it goes into Red Shield. But then you got the Rockefellers as well, which is basically the Rothschilds. They just the equivalent version over America.
Yeah.
And also it's even coming out too when you pledge in college, like the fraternities and stuff, that all goes to the same occult, man. It just levels to it.
Secret society.
Secret societies, man. Skull and Bones, you know, the Council of 13, all these things. It's a real thing.
Masonic too.
That's the origin of the Ivy League, man. See, your Ivy League degree, they shouldn't be able to charge you $250,000 for to go to Princeton.
No.
But they can still charge you that. Why? For the same information that's free on the internet. Why? Because you're not paying for education. You're paying to be a part of a group.
You're paying for a
Yeah,
doctrine.
Club. That's where it came from. Those societies. They set up these institutions, and that's why you believe what you believe. When you're so-called educated, you be 30, 40 years old before you find out basic things that you should have known when you was a kid because of how you were educated.
We ain't learned to write a check. Hello, how old y'all? Y'all learned to write a check, man.
Man, I was writing in 10th grade.
Yeah.
Shit.
But you go to preparatory school, man, at 12 years old, the presidents, they send them kids to, like, you know, prep school to learn how to run the world. They know how to open up a bank account at 10 years old, man.
Yeah.
You understand money. They tell them the things that public school, that's for slaves, man. The stuff we
Well, I
went
mean,
through,
like,
yeah.
you look at even like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was talking to JFK whenever he was 14 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
everybody's pre-selected.
Yeah.
It's a machine, it's a factory that they have, not like an actual factory, but it's a system that they have where they know everybody who's an insider.
Yes, sir.
They say all the presidents are related. It's not for coincidence.
Yep.
You got that out?
Okay, I got another precept. This is book of Obadiah, chapter 1. I'll start at verse 4. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord."
And that's the time that we experiencing right now. Now is the time of these high satanic rulers of the world being taken down. All right, they've exalted themselves. They did everything. They sent things into space. They didn't use the hammer to break apart many nations. But now, as you're seeing, the payback for these things is coming. So that's why everybody's they not too sure about how this war in Iran going to turn out, because being honest, it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad to the point where they're going to start drafting
Gonna bring out a draft.
men and women. That's why this week they raised the age to 42.
Yep.
You could be
They're
40.
trying to get people that were kicked out for COVID too.
Yeah.
They're trying to get them back in.
So you could be a 40-year-old V, never have a piece of box in your life. They're gonna send your ass to Iran, man.
Bro, but they bring it out now, a draft. How long the apostles been screaming they gonna bring back a draft? Over 30 years. As long as we've been teaching, we've been saying the same thing. They gonna bring back a draft. They gonna bring back a draft. Oh, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, we can't. Okay, this is a world war we're in.
Yeah.
This is they not gonna call like they didn't call World War II when it was happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
But down the line, oh well, this is a world war. You got over how many countries getting involved now? Like what, 20, maybe
Over 30, the whole
50,
EU.
something like that.
And keep in mind
The
too,
Gulf nations.
the age of enlisting was not 18 during World War II. It was 21.
21.
Yeah.
See, so back then they dropped to 18. They had an idea. 21 is the age where a man should fight. Well, as soon as a lot of people
They
start
need the
dying.
younger mind.
They drop that shit quick.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's gonna happen again. They're gonna drop the age. It's probably gonna be like from 12 to 60.
They're gonna
Get
go
your
up.
ass out there.
They're gonna go
Damn.
up. They're gonna go up. They're gonna go up. They're gonna keep raising the
Damn.
age. They ain't gonna stop at 42 because they need bodies.
Yeah.
They already said that 55% of the people are not qualified to go to war because the academic level, the school system, the obesity, the foods. People is not mentally acclimated because they're so fascinated with technology now, man. I can't even tell a person to read 10 minutes of a book without them swiping on their phone. This is a person that's not eligible for war. But hey, the scriptures say that Babylon will be weak, man.
That's right.
You got that, Daniel?
So I got a little bit more of that.
Go ahead, man.
This is I'll read that verse 4 again. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle." There's no coincidence they have the national bird as an eagle. It says, "And thou set thy nest among the stars." We'll take a look at your dollar bill and the United States seal. It's a nest among the stars, literally. These are symbolisms found. So you're not going to find literally the word America in the Bible.
No.
You got to put the pieces together. Because back then they didn't have a word for America back then.
Well,
The
Jeremiah
prophets were
named it.
seeing. Sorry.
Jeremiah named it. He called it Merathiah, which means double rebellion. When you go into America, the root word is rebellion, but also goes to bitter. America means bitter. So Jeremiah called it by name through the spirit, Merathiah. You know? But you got it.
I didn't know that. See,
Yep.
that's everything spiritual. Man. So these right here is pointing you, let you know which nation it's talking about. Obadiah. It says, "If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out?"
Yeah, so like if you go to Venezuela and you steal oil, but yeah, you're sitting on 600 years of untapped oil reserves in your own land, why do you need to go steal somebody else's stuff, man?
I mean, it goes back to the Rothschilds too.
Exactly.
The president of Venezuela didn't want to bank with the Rothschilds. They don't love that system.
Yeah, because they understood that once you set up a Rothschild central bank, then they own you. And you got to play ball, then you got to be under their so-called democracy, then they got to come in and delegate the laws.
Yep.
They set up puppets like, what's this guy, the president of Mexico? What's this dude's name?
Sheinbaum.
He's a
Sheinbaum,
small head,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, she.
Yeah, we say small hats because that's another name of saying that Israelis. You know what I'm saying? We call them small hats because if you talk about them, they scream, "Oh, it's anti-S, you know, which is no such thing as Semitic. They play on words. That's a made-up term. It's Shem, because when you go back into Noah's second son, you got Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and we come out of the line of Shem. So if they want to call somebody anti, it will be anti-Shemitic, but you can't be anti something you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we're Hebrews. Even though Esau was a Hebrew, we're Hebrews too. But that's a play on words to control narratives, man, and formulate certain plots to be able to keep people in a docile mindset. This is why the average person out here, they can't tell you what's going on, man. They can't even break down the money. They can't even break down the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's going to keep getting worse because those are imposters in our land. You guys are looking at the real Hebrew Israelites. Okay? Those are Hebrews, but they're not Hebrew Israelites. There's a difference.
That's right.
We come from the line of Jacob. We're chosen. Okay? So there's not going to be any peace in the land to return to it.
Right.
And that's after the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son comes back and cleans this world up via thermonuclear fire. That's going to be the lake of fire.
Yeah.
So World War III must come to pass. In Matthew 24, it says it must come to pass, man.
Yeah, right.
So that means that you can't go with protests, you can't go riot, you can't try in your own, take matters in your own hands. Let me stop this war. Maybe if I make enough signs and we all stand in the streets, we can stop it together.
Pray for Trump.
It doesn't work like
We
that.
all gonna pray for Trump.
We told you Trump wasn't gonna do nothing. He was a puppet. He changed his tune, man. I'm gonna make America. We're gonna get gas prices. He lied, bro. He lied
how
to
they
you people.
do
Yeah.
you.
That's right.
Yeah.
He
Everybody.
said no new wars. Next thing you know.
The same thing he was against, he went and did. He was against this alleged. He even said with Biden, he said if you go down there, it would be World War III. And he
Yep.
go down there and do the same goddamn thing, man.
Yeah. Hey, and it was a popular message because he won by a bigger margin than he won the first time.
Yeah.
Preaching that.
Yeah.
See? So that tells you most people wanted that, and then what did he do? He still did the opposite.
Yeah.
Everything that he's doing now, he's talked against. He's literally said that there would become a president that was going to go against Iran and they would fail. And now
Yep.
he's doing that right now.
But you know why he's doing that? You know why he's doing that? Because he's a puppet. He's being told to do that. You know, with this assassination attempt, when they allegedly hit him, that was all staged, but at the same time, though, that could have been a warning shot. Like, look, you better do what we tell you to do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he probably thought he was going to go in there and go against the elites. They was like, nah,
But
bro.
who, after getting shot at, who stands back up?
Yeah, and then
You're not gonna stand back up after just getting shot
I'm
at.
going home.
Trump's a coward, man. He's scared to even go further into Iran. He ain't even over there. He just don't want to fuck the money up. But it's too late. You've already stepped in the shit, man.
Well, if he touched down there, it's going to be bad. They can hit you from anywhere in the Middle East, bro. You can't, bro, you sent the thing yesterday on Twitter, on X. When they destroyed, what was it, 6 of they,
Yeah, they had, well, reportedly that they tried to do an amphibious attack in Iran, which basically where they take the vehicles that travel over water to land, they try to send the Marines over there. Report is that they got fucked up and that there is United States military members that are captured by the Iranian government.
Yeah.
Now the Iranians are confirming this, but you don't have any word from America.
Well, you won't have no word
They'll
from
hide every casualty.
Yeah,
that happens.
because
They downplayed
they
it,
got
bro.
all
They
these
said
bombers
6
and they said
servicemen.
only 5 people died.
It's thousands of people that died, bro. You saw what they did to Tel Aviv? You saw
Yeah,
what they
it's way
did to
more.
the man, please. You see
I mean, they control Google and everything too, so they've been hiding the images on Google Earth to where you can't even see Tel Aviv.
this dude, BB Milikowski, aka Benjamin Netanyahu, you know who, right? Where's he at in action? They said that they killed him. They showed footages of him dying in the rubble from an attack. But yet, why did they change the prime minister in Israel then if he's not dead? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see that guy starting a war and going to hide. Even though he's a coward, he won't be directly on the front lines, but I don't see him provoking the war. He was trying to get off the ground for 40 years just to go in hiding right now, man. The dude, they got him, or he's in a bunker somewhere, or he's dead. But regardless of it, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're lying about it, man.
God. It says, would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Yeah, it says if gate gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Like, bro, in this society, it's enough land in this society alone for everybody to live and have their own plot of land and have their own businesses without government interference. But yet, he wants to take it all. Like, how do you have your own people in slavery in your kingdom, man? You know, make America great again. But you got, you know, so-called white people in this society, man. They're struggling just like so-called black people now, man. Paying taxes, getting evicted. Hell, the homeless. You ever been to Independence, Missouri? It's crazy out there, bro.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, this is the quality of person you're dealing with. You see, like the whole white supremacy thing, it was always a self-destructive mindset.
Yeah.
So it's just like giving a person that don't understand business $1 million when you'll be okay for a little bit. But what's gonna happen a year from now?
I mean, you see how rich
It's all
these,
gonna
you see how
crash.
rich these business leaders are now, and they were scared back then during slavery to where they said, "How are we going to make money if we have to work?"
Yeah. They
Like, you
actually
can
got
still do it.
Yeah, they
You still
actually
do
got
it
paid
today.
reparations. Those farmers, they got paid reparations for the audacity of not being able to keep us.
Yeah.
You see, so this society was always going to crash, man.
Yeah.
You know, like violent beginnings have violent endings.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, how did America get started? How did it expand? How did it maintain its power? It's all violence, deception, wickedness, man. And now it's coming out because they're snaking each other now. You know?
Well, the thing too, it was set up to fall because when you set up a dollar on a credit-based system, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Think about it. When you go back to the Federal Reserve, when they established in 1913, they had certain men come over to try to protest that, but things went left. But when they established the Federal Reserve in 1913, at that point, that's when eventually they knew the dollar was going to be the end of all be all. You know, because right now, when they took the dollar off the gold standard back in 71, we've been accumulating debt literally every second of the day.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the debt clock right now, it may say we're at 39 trillion, but we're more like $400 trillion in debt. And they would never pay that back. That's why they gotta go to war. That's why Trump is down here. You gotta retain some type of Western hegemony through it. You gotta be leverage on this currency, so therefore he can remain supreme over all these nations. But see, you got SWIFT nations, you got the BRICS nations, you got OPEC nations, and they like, look, we can de-dollarize you at any time. So you want to come over here and fuck with us? We just gonna take from your reserves and we gonna let your economy suffer.
Yeah.
This is why you got rents in Kansas City, which that's price gouging because you got, you know, investors here. Shit, man.
Yeah.
That's
and you
ridiculous,
can hear your
bro.
neighbors smashing because they using weak ass material.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you know Your neighbor getting some, you can hear it.
Yeah.
So it ain't even worth it at the end of the
Hit a
day.
nigga watching porn, all types of shit.
You hearing
I
all
wanna
that.
live next to that. I got paid $2,000 a month to hear a dude play with himself. Nah, I'm cool. on that,
Dog
man.
barking and shit. You can smell what they cooking. It's hell.
Verse 6 says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
That's why EU and NATO, his allies, they say we're not dealing with it because if we get involved and we provide you more than surveillance support, then we're going to be in tandem of starting regional wars and we're going to end up conflict in Europe, which Europe going to get pulled in any goddamn way because now you got energy lockdowns out there, man.
Yeah.
You know, so his enemies, his own allies are going to come against him. So right now you're seeing a breakup of what they call NATO and the EU, which is actually prophesied. Somebody might get that Revelation 17. Hey, Ricard, get that Revelation 17, bro. Because the scriptures goes into how the beast shall hate the whore,
I'm
right?
already there.
The whore being America and the beast being this NATO and EU system. Now they're getting ready to clash, man.
Yeah.
Scriptures don't miss.
What verse?
Started verses 15, bro.
Go ahead.
It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
Yeah, because if Trump had any type of understanding, going down to Iran unprovoked was a bad idea because now you just brought more problems to your economy. Sure, you can tap into the reserves and keep gas $3.30, but why do that when you didn't have to? Now, because you got an energy crisis, food is getting ready to go up.
Yeah.
Cost of living is getting ready to
Everything.
go up. Everything, insurance premiums, everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's cheaper material. Like if you want to build a house now, you importing materials from Mexico, from here, and materials is shit. But you paying high dollar for it.
Yeah.
Why? Because everything is outsourced now.
Yeah, that's why the GDP is made up of like 11 niggas now, man.
That's it.
Because they all getting richer. They're raising the prices on things, but they're putting it together with dirt cheap materials.
That's it.
And they're
Sharing
squeezing productivity out of you one way or the other.
Yep.
You know.
Right.
That's why I said, Slack.
You got it, bro.
I was gonna say that's why I said there is no understanding in him, because I guarantee you, majority of people, which even myself, I didn't know, that the Strait of Hormuz accounted for 20% of global oil exports,
Yeah.
nor 30% of fertilizer exports. So like we're bringing out that everything going on over there with Iran and that war is literally crashing the world economy.
Hey, but it's
Japan gets, I think Japan gets 90% of their oil.
Yeah,
Japan,
yeah.
South Korea,
Yeah.
India.
And see those countries that bankroll America, Oman and UAE, 90% of their food comes through there.
Yeah.
So they're the ones bankrolling. They're the reason for the AI bubble, man.
Yeah.
Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, Oman, the other countries.
Just
They're
water
90%.
alone,
Yeah, their water as well. But 90% of their
Desalination
food
Yeah.
comes from there. You see. So what he started is he basically kicked the hornet's nest, man.
Yeah.
You know.
And
They've been preparing for this for over 50 years.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what? They
They saw it coming.
They saw what Americans did to us, man. They saw when they signed Native American treaties with us, what happened, man.
Yeah.
You know, the Arabs know they wicked too, but they know who they dealing with, man. This was always a tenuous relationship when they signed that Petro deal.
They saw the whole war in Iraq. That was all
That was
fabricated,
right next
bro.
door.
Yeah, they saw it like Iraq
They-
and
we,
Iran.
we gave everything to Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. You send people down there to die for a nefarious cause. Why? Because you want to steal resources? Oh, there's a war on terror. But when you want to go down there, you want to mine for opals and you want to, covet fields. You send people over there to die for a false narrative, man.
Yeah.
And he see why don't nobody want to fight in this military no more, bro. You got people online talking about, look, man, I'm not going in the military. Lock me up. Because nobody want to go die for Israel, man. Because really, it's them behind it. It's small hats. They pulling America into it. But Israel owns America any goddamn way because 90% of your Senate are fucking small hats, or so-called Jews, man.
93 out of 100.
Yeah, bro.
Congress, Yeah.
Like,
bought
look
my
up the
APAC.
CDC. Look up bro. They're all chairmen. They all are Zionists, man. All of them.
That's why it's on the anti-S list to even call that out. You even say that that's part of you being what do they call it?
Labeled anti-Emetic.
Bring it out, Ricardo. Most lucky, brother.
There's just one more verse. It says, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? So they've been doing all this, it's affecting other countries, man, and their pockets and their money. So this is bringing in that precept that he called for Revelation, is bringing that in for them to hate us. Because they weren't, nobody supported the United States.
Don't
making
say
that
us,
move.
say them.
Them.
We ain't got nothing to do with this. Fuck this.
Right. America, give them a reason to hate America, I should say. We just living here. We don't part of the system, but you know. But so this is causing that beast to really hate the horde. Anytime, and Iran is also targeting some of the United States allies. It's gonna start sending some of them intercontinental missiles over there to the UK. They can touch that. You can't reach America, but they can touch that. You know, so
Russia-
anybody doesn't help them out and say, hey, you've thwarted, you're not defending us, so you a target. Because if you hit one of America's allies, that hurts America's pockets too. So that causes them to build up a hatred against this place.
Bro, Russia could reach this place, brother. China could reach it.
Yeah.
North Korea,
Oh, yeah.
they could reach it.
All of Europe gonna bitch up, man. Every country, they gonna fold, man.
Yeah.
They couldn't even beat the mustache man back in the 1930s and 40s.
He had Europe on
They
fire,
just ran
bro.
straight through him. He wasn't no problem. He ain't had no problem until he had to fight the Russians. That's what took out HITLER.
Yeah.
The
Allegedly.
Russians.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, they defeated his army. I'll
Yeah.
say that.
Fucking so yeah. But the Third Reich was really a setup for what's happening now. That whole Third Reich was all propagation for what's happening now.
Yeah.
Same thing, man. But you got it, bro.
This Revelation chapter 17, I'm going to start at verse 13. These, start at verse 12. And the 10 horns,
Give me the sign, bro. Get the sign with the 7 heads on it.
Revelation 17 and 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings.
Yeah, the Lamb is Yahweh Shai, who they even call Christ. Now, if you notice, we got the devil horns on Jesus because that's not how the Lord or the Messiah would appear to look like. And what proves that is the scriptures on there. Because a lot of times people see that sign, they get offended. But see, that's why we say reading is essential, because one thing they got to do is trace the resources to say he don't look like that.
Yeah.
And that will clear up all the confusion. But most people are emotionally driven. So they see something they don't like, it creates an emotional response in them. He would look more like that, according to the Bible. Scriptures that prove it, Revelation 1 and 13, Daniel 10, 5 and 6.
And you just look at where he's from too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right. And say, Revelation 17 and 14, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Right, so you see the great whore America, right? It's the great whore right here. Then you got 7 heads and 10 horns, but you got the Greeks, the British, the Romanian Minor, the Spanish, the French, the Roman, and the Romanian Major. All right, all these nations today, you got Denmark, France, Italy, you got Portugal and Spain. These are all, how can I say it? Yeah, they're all vassal states. All right, but these are all the modern day terms of 7 heads and 10 horns, which America claimed to hold. So these nations that you see are going to come against this woman because she's spearheading the whole goddamn shit. Which the so-called Jews are financing this to create tension around the world.
Yeah.
That's why they're going to fall.
And scriptures like these are ones that Christian pastors in the church cannot break down.
Yeah.
This is not going to be explained
Yeah.
accurately in the Christian church.
they just
The
have
Holy
no idea.
Spirit has to be on you to reveal these things.
Yeah.
They're actually just gonna skip over it in church altogether.
Yeah,
Yeah,
God bless y'all.
yeah.
All right, man.
Thank y'all for
Take
sharing.
care, man.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
It say Revelation 17 and 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And that's what these people rule over, man. You know, because they say our main strength is diversity. All right, that's what they say in America. But being honest, that's how they get rulerships, is through diversity. You know, the scripture in Habakkuk say they gather all nations unto himself, man. So once he get done fucking up your country, he leave it to where you ain't got no choice but to come to America. Because it ain't shit in your hometown. That's why you got all these damn migrants. You think the migrants here for jobs? No, because America fucked up them countries, man.
Then they brainwash them and make them think that they were being oppressed by the leader that they had. But no, they go in those lands and they set up coups and shit, man. and they entice the people to come against the country. And then they push it on the media, but really that's not be the case. It's just like in Venezuela when they went in. The Venezuelans wasn't what that was doing. You had all the millions of people on the streets protesting, all over the highways and shit. But they try to act like they were oppressed and Venezuelans were happy about it. No, the majority were pissed off.
Right, because America doing what they want. And say, Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So that's gonna be a change of feelings, man. The same way these loose ass whores do. So they love your ass for the first 2 weeks, but then what they say, the fucking thrill is gone, man.
Yeah, they get that when they get that Instagram like, then all of a sudden, you know, she's like, I don't need you no more.
It's a change of feelings.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah, so that's what the EU is experiencing right now, because they understand that, first of all, war is bad for business. Their economies is already hurt. They're already at beef with Russia. You want to start a fucking war? They not with that, man.
Crisis lockdowns, bro. Well, here, the article said China in talks with Iran for safe passage through Hormuz as WH scrambles to contain rising energy prices, right? So it says early reports now indicating Iranian strikes. Now this article came out earlier this month, of course, but at the U.S. Camp Victory base in Baghdad, as continuous explosions were reportedly heard. But Pentagon Chief Hegseth, he's a devil, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, crazy Pete. Yeah, Pistol Pete. And it says U.S. has just begun to fight Iran, and Iran is wrong in its calculations if it thinks we can't continue the war. CENTCOM operations going well and moving at a fast pace. But wait a minute, if you were really ahead, and let's be honest with you, they can't defeat America in a straight up conflict, okay? So they have drones, they have satellites, they're using strategic means of war to neutralize their infrastructure, because once you destroy all the U.S. bases, then you pretty much got them in a chokehold, because they have no type of defense from that. They have no reconnaissance, they have no intel, everything is destroyed. So when you come in their territory and no type of division to sustain yourself, then you're really fighting a losing battle, all right? Because America has the firepower to defeat them, but they can't defeat them in the way that they're doing, because it's, one thing, it's not written.
Yeah,
You know,
they can destroy things, but they can't defeat them. You know.
yeah. And you, but even boots on the ground, they can't do nothing with them Iranian troops, and they couldn't do nothing with them, bro.
Yeah. That's the only way to defeat them, really. If you want to defeat when you still have some shit left, you gotta go on boots on the ground.
You have to go boots on the ground, and bro, and when that happens in America, because bro, if they invade Iran and they put boots on the ground, that's when shit gonna turn up. That's when Russia is gonna get involved, and that's when China is gonna really show their hand in that, man. Because they understand, you send Delta 9 in there, you send these troops in there, you send that troops in there. 82nd Airborne, which is, you ain't got enough of them for one thing to take it.
Yeah, how they gonna get out?
Yeah. So if you really wanted to be technically honest, if he was smart, he would go through probably Iraq and try to cross the border that way, or you just gonna have to surround that shit all together. But you're gonna have to have a swarm of troops. That means you're gonna have to come up from the sea, the land, the air. You just gonna have to come in, and you're gonna have to lose casualties like left, man. Because they can shoot you down. You come in through air, you come in through sea, they gonna shoot you down, man.
Not to mention the whole country been booby trapped. They've been booby trapping it for 20 years, man.
Motherfucker got landmines inside.
Yeah,
Bro.
Got shit coming out the mountains. They got probably drones that just auto fly out the mountain.
Bro, they got like, bro, trailers and shit, bro. It was fucking a bomb in that bitch. It exploded.
Oh, yeah. The Iranians, they're some of the smartest ones over there in the Middle East. I think they are the smartest, actually. They're like the team of the Middle East, bro.
They had over 30, 40, like you said, like the guy said, they had over 50 years to prep for this.
Yeah.
Like that makes the war in Iraq look like child's play. Because Iraq, the American soldiers was getting fucked up, all those roadside bombs.
Yeah.
I got a cousin that was he was in the Marines. He survived. Half his body got blown off, man. He's in St. Louis now. They had to give him a house and shit.
Damn.
You know, but that is not gonna give his legs back.
Like Bubba, huh?
Yeah, he's gone. Like his waist down he's done. I think he lost his arm, both his legs. You know.
And see, that's why nobody want to fight for you fucking devils, man. People dying because of your greed, man.
He shouldn't have to worry about a motherfucking thing when he get back, man.
Right,
You
man.
still got to worry about his taxes and insurance. And
He still got to work though, and you know the max they're gonna give you for disability is like four bands a month. That's the max you can get for 100% VA.
bro,
disability.
how, bro?
So,
They give you what is that? $48,000. You make $48,000
dollars, man, and resources, bro.
Man.
And not just Iraq, which you mentioned too, because that's on the west side of Iran, but also Afghanistan. Because Afghanistan sits on the east side of Iran, so they seen it both times on both sides, man.
Yep.
And what they learned is how ineffective Americans is when it comes to mountainous warfare, man.
Yep.
They can't do that, man.
Yeah.
You cannot.
They mastered those pipe bombs and hiding explosive devices. Like we seen it when it was happening about 20 years ago during the time of 9/11 when they went over there and invaded. What was happening to those troops? Look how many years has passed since then. Look how vast technology is this then. You try to send some ground troops in that real rocky terrain, you are fucked, man.
Right,
You
because
are
you don't know
fucked.
where it's going to come
And
from.
Iran has had all that oil money for all these years. All these other countries, they didn't have as much oil money and much power.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got way more advanced tech. So it's going to be like child's play
Yeah.
compared to Iraq.
And
They're getting surveillance from Russians too. The Russians, they look them up into like a surveillance system around their terrain, so the Russians can see aspects that they can't see. They're basically like their second or third set of eyes and say, well, look, they're coming in from the Iraqi border. You may want to set up a platoon of garrisons here to deter them back. You know?
Yeah.
Esau gonna try to take that shit, bro. Trump
Oh,
said,
yeah, he
he
gonna
said,
try.
bro, he said we gonna force through this nigga, man.
He don't give a fuck, do he? See? Yeah, so this is why, and where do you think they learned the booby traps from? They learned it from the Vietnamese, man.
Right.
Going in that jungle. They all, see, the nations, when the scriptures say, let the weak say I am strong,
And they learned that from Gad, bro.
and Gad, yeah, kinda. I think a lot of them Vietnamese are Gadites over there, and the Philippines as well. And Cambodia, them southern Asians, they like darker complected Asians down there.
The Cambodians have been bad too, bro.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that migration to our Cyrus found in the second address. We had a ton of Northern Kingdom that got dropped off in all those quote unquote Asian countries.
But a lot of the slaves docked in the Philippines and stuff.
How you doing?
man.
Yep.
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
What's going on with you?
You got a good day.
You got
Yeah.
even
What's
an
the trigger
area
right
over
there,
there in
man?
Agua.
Oh, okay,
Boy,
okay.
okay.
Some?
Nah, I'm cool, man.
We got an area in the Philippines called the Negroes, the Negro area.
Yeah.
You know those islands.
They knew what they were grabbing up.
But what I was saying
Not interrupting
was,
him. He is on.
Yeah, we
Catch
feel
right now.
Yeah, we feel you good, man.
but they found out the hard way, man. So like the elder was mentioning, they get that reconnaissance, that visual reconnaissance from the satellites. It's very expensive just to have your troops over there, man. They need constant air support, man, just to keep them alive. They need flight support going over there. Watch that movie on Netflix called not Extraction, but forgot the other one. The other dude's little brother played in it, man. But when he had to call that shit in, bro, the amount of fuel they had to waste just to go in there and get the smoke, just to find out where they at. That's fuel, man.
Yeah.
Just to support 4 dudes on the ground doing some crazy shit. You know, you need satellite surveillance, you need air support, water, brother. You know what I'm saying? You need constant communication.
They took it from you. He wouldn't take it from me.
Just so they don't get left out there, man.
Hey, but just go ahead.
You know? Go back to that Revelation, brother, about Michelle. I think it's like around the last verse.
This Revelation chapter 17, I'm going to start at verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
Yep.
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Yeah, until the time was fulfilled. See, it was all good when they leave it the Beaver era. You know, you baby boomer, they was eating, boy. They was coming over here, they working a job. Nigga literally just screwing light bulbs to his job, bro. Nigga will make a salary, take care of his whole family, bro, just screwing in light bulbs.
Especially on them assembly plants, niggas with Ford, bro.
Yeah. And see, the reason they able to do that because all of them with the Treaty of Rome, they were all able to consent and get the petrodollar deal set up. They were all cool. They was high-fiving and shit. But what's happened over a course of a period of time, man? They all started building up tension towards one another. America, the whore, started getting too drunk, you know, walking around wonton, talking shit, and so there's division started to happen. The cracks started to show. See?
Yeah,
That was the end of the 99-cent double cheeseburger, man.
Yeah. So it says until a time, okay? And now we're in those times where, you know, you could say that they're still allied, but deep down, them Danes, them Denmark people, bro, the North, they don't fuck with you Americans, man. They did a poll over it. They said we hate the American tourists the most, man.
Damn.
We see an American tourist, we're like, oh fuck no, they're rude. They act entitled.
Dirty.
You know, they think their culture is superior, and they don't have no respect for what we do over here.
Hell, Greenland said they don't want nothing to do. They said, man, y'all stupid, man. They said we want nothing to be cool. Y'all stupid. They don't want nothing to do with you. And when you read in the Iranian tabloids, they call you people American terrorists.
Yeah.
Just imagine, you know, the news over here that says, oh, there's such and such. Just imagine what their press is saying about this place. I'm interested to read what Iranians news is actually saying about what we say, the uncensored shit. Because, you know, we get censored stuff. We have a media blackout, bro. Like, you may get bits and pieces of global news and certain resources, but we have a media blackout here, man. You go to Iran and you read the tabloids or whatever they got going on and about the West. It's all types of shit they say about this place. Yeah, the devil is coming to invade. You know, be careful, man. Bro, everybody figured you out, man.
Right.
It's just these stupid people you got in the gulag, man. Because they're allowed to do this simple shit every goddamn week, man.
Oh yeah,
Throw
just,
bean bags inside of a fucking wooden board, man. This is life.
right.
It's a damn shame, man.
I was gonna say testimony to back you up. I was just talking to this lady. I didn't know she was a teacher of like English language. She actually flew and lived in China. She said for like 5 years, and she was breaking it down to me on how much shit that they don't have. They don't have fucking Facebook, Instagram. A lot of stuff is they're not allowed to have. So it's like I got to thinking about it. Hit me and realized like, damn man, everything we see on Google, they don't see the same shit over there. They have a completely different system over there. Their social media system is different. Their news information system is different. And a lot of stuff that they have access to watch, we will never get it because you're always going to have that IP address when you try to pull up your phone and try to look up something. You won't get the information the same as other countries get. So all the dirt that goes on here, they see it, but we don't. This is what's keeping these Americans so damn docile and watered down.
Yeah, that's why they gotta buy TikTok and things of that nature.
I was gonna say that, bro. Nah, you got it. Nah, you got it, bro.
To see that these ISPs, the internet service providers, they're all gonna be in on what's coming next, man. Which is that charagma, man.
To the
Control
beat.
the narrative, man. The term media is a Greek goddess, man.
Yo.
That's really what the worship of it is. She's a Greek goddess of illusion, okay? Of convincing you that something is real when it's not. Or convincing you something that's not real when it really is real.
She's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch. She's over sorcery and she's over illusions. You know? Media, that's what media is, man.
Social media.
Yeah.
Social illusion is not real, people. You women out there, you come, hey, get that through your mind, man. That's why you got a fucking filter. You see a chick with 20 different filters on one photo and you see it in person, the bitch look like a back of a truck tire, bro. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, who the hell is you? You know, but you look at the filters and make the ass right. It's sorcery, it's witchcraft, man.
Yep.
No, quick precept. It's the book of Job 15, and I'm gonna start at verses 34. It says here, for the congregation of hypocrites should be desolate, and fire should consume the tabernacles of the bribery, man. That fire is gonna consume the habitation of this wicked system, man. And you small hats, you gonna be a big culprit of getting hit with these missiles, man.
Absolutely.
Because, hey, Israel is cooked right now. Tel Aviv, hey, they showed the murder flying over Tel Aviv, man, which is a murder of crows.
Yeah,
That's an
yeah.
omen, man.
Yep.
You know, and the scriptures say a bastard should dwell in Ashdod, man. Which Tel Aviv, modern day Ashdod is Tel Aviv, man.
Yep.
And you devils don't belong there. And it says here, and they conceive mischief and bring forth vanity in their belly preparing deceit. And this is why you had men like Larry Fink and Larry Ellison and all these small hats, man, that invested in these particular corporations, TikTok. How the hell does BlackRock and Vanguard damn near take up the GDP of fucking California? How do they have over so many trillions of dollars in assets, bro?
Yeah.
How?
Yep.
That's fucking ridiculous,
Yeah.
man. How can you have more revenue than a goddamn state, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of it is that it's not real. It's not real. That's not the real value of it.
Yeah.
That's what a stock market crash is. Is the value is saying $1 trillion when it's really worth 100 million.
Yeah.
You know. So on paper, that's
Gouges it up.
But the thing with Esau's system is he can borrow money off of that fake price. You know what I'm saying? He said, give me collateral to buy this and buy that off of this price. You know what I'm saying? Knowing the shit ain't really worth that, you know? And that's how he was able to, and he's actually able to take real assets and wealth from you, man. BlackRock is buying up land based off of a valuation that ain't even fucking real.
Yeah. It's a fake appraisal.
You know?
You
This
know?
is the witchcraft of this place, man.
But they do it with cars too, bro. Like, we always go into this concept of subprime lending, right? Say if you got a 2025 Mercedes-Benz, right? And let's say they can say the note on that thing or the price tag on that thing could be anywhere from 100,000 to 150,000, right? But see, this is how they get you. They won't necessarily put the price sticker on the car, but you go in there deal and you inquire about it. That means that they can fluctuate it based on how much credit you got. So let's just say if you got a good credit score, they may say, well, we can give you 6% on this, and over the course of time, you may pay such and such on the principal and the interest. You probably been to pay $200,000 for that car, you know, when it's said and done, just like with a house. But see, and then they give you these loans that which you have no physical check in the bank. You didn't go to a teller or a personal bank and get a physical cut check of money to take to the dealership, but they'll call it in and approve the loan out of thin air, and you just gave their ass $150,000 for free without even proof that they gave it to you.
Yep. With money they didn't even have in there.
They didn't have it in there.
Because if you go try to take that money out the bank, they go, oh, we ain't
Yeah,
well, how the
yeah.
fuck you loaning this shit out then, man?
Yeah.
You know? Hey, that shit, you shit get you hot just thinking about it,
It's
man.
wickedness.
Everything is a fucking scam. Everything is fucking poison. They're scamming you so you can buy fucking poison, man.
Well, that's why the 2008 housing market and the subprime lending bust, because they was doing overinflated loans and shit. They got a lot of you women too in the pandemic buying these houses, man.
Yeah.
Buying the houses at a cheap fucking monthly rate, and then over the course of time they raise interest on your ass, man.
Right.
Now $989 mortgage go from $989 to $1,800 in 4 years. How the fuck is that even possible, bro?
And these Edomites will walk around thinking that they better than you,
Usury, man.
but they're really the scammer. They need to have a shiesty mask on, man.
Who?
Everything out here is a fucking scam, man.
Right. This is the book of Proverbs 28, and I'm gonna start at verses 28 and 8. It says, "He that by usury and unjust gain increases substance, and he should gather it for him that would pay to the poor." Man, yeah, usury. Usury goes into taxes.
Yeah.
You know, you're not supposed to put a tax on a residual that you buy. Like, you go to the store, why am I paying a tax for water?
Yeah.
Why am I paying a tax for a fucking car? Why am I paying property taxes? It's supposed to be my vehicle is in my name, right? So why I gotta continue to pay the state taxes every year on something that I allegedly own?
Yeah.
And this don't get you people roused up? You people, and that's what we said, media, the illusion. You people are under a demonic spell.
Yep.
Paying $18 for 6 chicken wings. What the fuck?
Bro.
That's one of the most abundant animals on the planet Earth.
And then they'll offer you something where you pay interest on that, man.
Yeah.
Go get Klarna. You missed that payment, they hitting your ass with all kind of fees and shit, man.
Nah,
You know?
now the new thing is database pricing. So now it is once you like sign into some shit, your price may be $6.99, but his price gonna be $12.99 based off his data.
Yeah.
So that's the new social credit system. So
See,
now you want to get a pack of water, usually everybody gotta pay $10.99. But now it's gonna be, well, since you got low social credit score, you gotta pay $12.99 for this water.
Yeah.
And can you
Look at tariff fees too. You go and buy certain things on Amazon, certain things they have a tariff fee on there, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was looking into like this headset, and I was looking on the website. It was like such and such, but the tariffs it had like another $10 on that shit. I'm like,
Top tax.
that verse 1 in Proverbs 28?
Still got motherfuckers crying at the damn national anthem. All as we just
Chris
said,
Jones.
you still got motherfuckers that stand up there in tears, crying out about some old say, "Can you see?"
I love it, man.
Motherfuckers, man, are dumb, man.
Bro. You people fucking deserve the shit that's coming to you, man.
You said verse 1, Proverbs 28? Yeah. This is the book of Proverbs 28 and 1. It says, "The wicked flee, but no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion." And it says here, "For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof, but by a man of understanding and knowledge the state thereof should be prolonged. But a poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food."
Have niggas out here desolate, man, hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry. But that's that's how they want it. All right, because we was talking about the fucking baby boomers earlier. Them niggas, them niggas got soft because they had so much abundance and delicacies, man. We always say this: good times create weak men, and so now that the weakest men have been in position to write laws and to dictate government, now you have what you have now: bad times, man.
Yep.
Okay, and so as you say, you know, we read in Obadiah, Esau will leave no grapes, man. So if it's up to him, even his own people will fucking starve, man.
Yep.
And that's actually gonna happen.
Yeah. Like you were saying with that credit score thing, bro, that's gonna be very oppressive, man. Like we had to go get this sign made this week for a certain price. But you think they would have saw this sign when we was printing out? They might have said, well, your price is $2,000 now for the same goddamn work. Because that's the system that we're getting ready to go into, man.
Yep.
And like the brother mentioned, man, like it's gonna put the spirit of division on people, man. People are not gonna be wanting to associate with you. They're gonna want to snitch on you at work, your job. It's gonna be a lot of division and infighting.
Yep.
Because they just want to eat, man. They just want to come out on Saturdays and bullshit and party, play fucking cornhole. You know, niggas will snake you to maintain this bullshit, man. Which ain't living at all, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
because they gotta tune out the truth. The same thing they doing now. Because when we started prophesying, they ain't had no music playing. But when we got going, they turned it up. But that's a spiritual representation because that's what these people do, man. They don't want to hear the outside truths of what the world is saying. They want to hear the music going on in their vibe.
Right.
They want to establish their vibe, and whatever is not aligned with their vibe, they gonna tune it out, man. So it's you know.
What Jake said, you scaring the hoes.
Hey, the Most High gonna burn the hoe.
That's right.
We ain't gotta scare
That's
them.
right, brother.
Some quick precept. Psalms 58:4 it says that poison is like the poison of a serpent, and they are like the deaf adder that stoppeth their ear, which would not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. But that's basically them saying, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear that, man. Hey, with your families, bro. You got family men that are still scoffing. They see all this shit going on in the world, and they know that you spoke on it, but somehow, some way, they still find a problem with you. Hey, when this society falls, man, hey, the men of the Lord, we gonna be very hard to get in contact with that day. Yeah, you use your imagination to see what that meant. See the number, block. Don't call me, man, because y'all weren't humbled enough to come up here and deal with the word and learn, because y'all wanted to live your lives and talk shit. So now you gonna have to be forced to eat this judgment, man.
That's right. That's right.
Because, hey, brothers, our families, some of them gonna taste that, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
You gonna taste that second death, man.
Earned it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, and even if you do manage to get in contact with one another, you probably ain't the phone call you want to hear. You do manage to get a hold of it, but you can get your ass cursed out, man. What the fuck you calling me for now, man? That's the spirit that John the Baptist was in, man. All the multitude came out there to witness him after he had been out there preaching. You know, and he got mad in the spirit, man. He said, "Who told you to flee from the wrath to come?" So,
Yes, sir.
Precept.
Go ahead, Hop.
Book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6 says, My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
Yeah, so the Lord said, look, you rejected the word, and he's going to reject you. He's going to forget your kids. This is why you got YNs out here, and y'all going to war. All this TikTok stuff y'all saying, oh, I don't want to get it. Y'all going to war, man. Okay, you YNs, y'all going to get drafted right along with your baby mamas, your mamas. But you know, the average mother now is like 35 years old, so grandmothers in the 40s, y'all getting drafted, they going to just grab you people up, and those of you that protest this draft, they may cause an energy crisis. They may cut your bank account off.
Yep.
They may send drones over. Esau has a very way of getting people to bend to his will.
oh man.
He ain't gonna ask you. He gonna like, okay, you want to sign up? Nope. Okay. All of a sudden, your fucking house is down the street.
Especially you high-calorie quiches out here. We already know what your incentive is. You gonna turn that food access off. Your ass gonna be right there. Where I gotta go to
EBT. Bro, think about it. And they gonna do it, bro. They may say, look, you get $100,000 guarantee, and we give $50,000 sign-on bonus. Jake gonna go off that.
Oh,
Jake
yeah.
gonna go for the bread, bro. Like Apostle Tar said, you can buy a nigga cheap. They'll give you $150,000, but guess what? You ain't gonna be able to spend it.
Right.
You ain't gonna come back. You ain't even gonna be able to be shipped back in the box. You gonna be part of the soil over there, man.
Yeah.
That's 2 Esdras 13.
Yep.
Lord said that he saw the violence of the multitude, and then what he perceived to be a large multitude was nothing but smoke, man. Poof, y'all ass, bro.
Yeah, people that sign up at that, dude, that's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
You can't use the money when you over there in fucking Iran. What you gonna buy? The most you might be able to do is get your family to send you something on Amazon, and even then it's a whole step in the process to get shit that your family tries to give you, because they send like care packages and stuff when you get deployed. Y'all niggas ain't gonna get shit. So
They
you
gon-
making all this $50,000 and you never gonna get home to buy that Hellcat like you want.
He's gonna buy it online and have it delivered to his crib, and it's gonna be there waiting on his ass to not come back.
Yep. Shit. One of his brothers might drive it. Shit.
Yeah.
Be for
Black
us,
with some
man.
red stripes, shit. Hey, I'll drive that bad boy.
That money might not even be in your account. You saw be like, make that shit say pending. We got his ass. He signed up. He shipped your ass over there. He ain't never sent you that money, man.
But look at what he did to TSA. The DHS wasn't, I don't know if they passed the bill, but now you got ICE doing the airports now, which that's your first line of defense for military checkpoints now. Because if you come through the country, you got to go through the airports, right?
Yeah.
So that's your first line right there, military checkpoints. That's just going to spread out to them. That's the whole plan all the time. They wanted Customs and Borders to be at the airports because they had a video of a Northern Kingdom woman getting deported out of that bad boy. But I thought they wasn't on that. I thought they was just to be back up for TSA, but they're doing checks and screens. Oh, you don't belong here. Send her back.
Yep.
You know? And that's just how it is. This society is getting ready to be locked down, man. Troops are getting ready to be on the streets. All right, martial law. And you niggas, you don't see it coming, man.
That's right.
All right, you too busy playing fucking hood booger and black and mild smoking niggas to see the hell. I'm 32nd in truce, brother. I ain't real. Nigga, come in the real world, man. Niggas surrounded by a liquor store and a fucking back alley garage with a broken down Mustang in the back, drinking beer on a fucking crate, talking about, oh, he owns something. Nigga, you's a clown, bro.
Yeah, y'all used to shooting with niggas that don't even look when they shoot. Nigga, Jake had a piece. He'd be like,
Like
over the
bulldog.
car. Yeah,
Bulldog shit in the club. Ain't nobody.
Right. Nah, you ain't never shot at. You ain't never been shot at by no actual soldier, man. You get shot at by an actual marksman. Okay, come on, bullets be whizzing, take your ass out, man. Plus, you gotta be a fucking demon to want to follow a demon like Pete Hegseth, man. That ain't nobody you want to follow, man. Which he's a puppet anyway. But look at this nigga, man.
Crazy Pete got one of them ancient emperor spirits, man.
Yeah, he definitely
That
was a
nigga
general.
just love blood,
Yeah.
and he down with it, and he speaks so highly and confident. So I know we saying Trump and Nero 47, but we gonna find out. We gonna find out in the kingdom who the fuck Hegseth is, cause that nigga ain't normal, man.
Oh, you had a lot of generals, man. You had Cassandra. You had Ptolemy. You had
Lots of the mess.
Lassa Damas. You had Pompey.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that nigga he don't have a normal rationale when it comes to war.
Yeah.
He just want to see people die, and that's it.
This nigga bench pressing 315, quote unquote.
Is he over there right now? Is he
Hell
over
no, he ain't over there.
Nah, that nigga eating crab.
right now.
That's
yeah.
why they audited his ass and found out they was spending $1 million on fucking seafood on government bill, man.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Wait a minute. Once you send this inbred retard Barron Trump, man.
Right.
Once you send that big hybrid, Bigfoot, slow fucking demon, send him over there.
And that nigga up. Cause they said a day before or a week before
Barron Trump.
the whole invasion,
Beat that
the whole
nigga
bombing
ass.
started, they
Whoop
said
his ass.
that nigga Barron Trump bought stocks in oil. And so after the whole shit went down, all his stocks tripled. So that's called insider trading, dog.
Yep, facts.
He up. He just came up a couple of bill off that shit, bro. They said it. They said in the time of war, when the blood is high in the streets, that's the time to invest in resources, man. Why not invest in it when people need it? Like oil, people need that shit to survive. So if you going up and you invest in it, you gonna get your money out that shit, bro.
Yeah, Jake call it they on a run.
Yeah.
These Edomites, they about to be on a run. Hey, Esau up right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
They at least getting paid right now because they got the money in the military-industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
They got the money in the fucking oil.
Yes.
All right. So shit, all you people is just the labor force, man.
Hey, but that explains why Trump is so emboldened. You know, because like you said, they on that run.
Yeah,
So
they on a run.
He's getting that money. He took Venezuela.
Yep.
It didn't happen to him. You know,
Trying to get Cuba.
hey, but he stepped right where the Lord had that angel set up and say, hey, listen, cross over here, that's your ass. He had that same mentality. That's how gamblers end up going broke, man. Because they'll have a 1 in a million chance run of betting, and they think they can
do
before
it
you know it,
again.
they walk out the casino with nothing, bro. They bet their whole mortgage.
Slick rolling
The
nigga.
house always
The
wins.
house always wins, and that's how your how about Shimmy Shai is, man.
Yeah.
Trick dice. But it says earlier, topsoil was $80 a barrel for the first time since January 2025. It says White House tapping advisors for ideas on lowering gasoline prices in wake of U.S.-Iran attack. But President Trump told Axios in an interview Thursday that he needs to be personally involved in selecting Iran's next leader, just as he was in Venezuela. Like, the hell are you to choose somebody else's leader, bro? They don't take orders from you. This is why they beating the hell out you devils right now, man. Go over there and call somebody. That's just like me coming to your house saying, well, you ain't allowed to have this person in your house. Well, you gotta make sure that he gets your, who the hell are you? This ain't your house, man. Straight up. Good?
Yeah, I'm
You know?
That's how he is as a police of the earth, man.
The
You
hammer.
want to tell everybody how they need to live and what they can and cannot have, man.
Right.
But he do the same goddamn thing, man.
Yeah.
He do the same thing. Well, you can't allow such and such. Yeah, but you do the same damn thing, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Iran can't have nuclear weapons, but you get to have them?
Right.
Why can't they have them?
Yeah.
Because the reality of it is them small hats know what's up, bro.
Yep. And by the way, you mentioned Afghanistan earlier on the east. Pakistan is another one on the east, and they have nukes, man.
Oh, they don't want
And
to see
they're
it.
on the border of Iran, man, and they're friendly with them.
They're more friendly with Iran than anybody.
Yeah.
That's why Iran always shut down their nuclear deal, because you know what? Pakistan, fucking Russia, they can always supply the weapons behind the door, Korea behind the door. What America gonna do? What they gonna do? They gonna tell the Russians, oh, you can't give them that? They ain't gonna. Nah, man. Let's do it, though. Let's put tariffs on them now. Russia's like, fuck your tariffs, nigga.
Russia's actually up on the tariff.
Yeah, but they reneged. You know they took off the restrictions on Russian oil, right?
I saw that. Yeah.
The Russian and Iranian oil.
They had
So
to.
they know how much money Russia making right now because of that, bro.
Like, you don't have leverage, bro. Like, you trying to put leverage on people that got you checkmate. You ain't got no leverage, man.
This man strengthened his own peace, man. And that shows that Yahweh Bashim Shai is putting them in a position where they can't control it. This is the most uncontrollable control collapse ever, man.
That's why. That's how we know this right here is very much near, man. That petrodollar is done. He's desperate. Come on, man. Talk to Iran, man. Let us get through the strait.
Tell them
We'll
we
take the
was
tariffs
tripping.
off. Yeah. We'll give you a no. You owe Russia, man. What about all the money they lost?
Yeah,
You know?
cause niggas do some dumb shit drunk, and then once they sober up, they try to make it all good. No,
Nah,
you gotta
nigga.
stand on that.
Did the same thing with China, man. He's asking China to talk to them, bro. Why you putting tariffs on them? What happened to Liberation Day, man?
Yeah, he was proud as fucking that shit too. Nations are calling; they want to make a deal.
Yeah, America just trying to hold leverage based on an old name and an old reputation they had. They ain't got the.
And it's cooked.
Yeah, that's just like me bringing a fucking Walter PPK to a laser gun fight. What I'm gonna do with that? I'm gonna get smoked, bro.
Yep.
Like, nigga, your name don't mean nothing. Your name is trash, bro. You got white ends, you got whores, you got homosexuals, bro. Like, nobody respects you, man. You losing power.
Yeah.
That's Isaiah 47, man.
Yeah, Epstein files confirmed it. They don't want nothing to do with you, man. You just got stuff they need at the moment.
That's it.
They don't want to do nothing to do with you, man. They plotting. They been plotting to get rid of your ass.
What do you got to precept up? Yeah, bring out the last one. We'll wrap up in a minute.
This is Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. Okay, so it's going to get to a point, literally, they're just going to just throw any type of monetary money into the street. It's not going to do anything. So, you know, and they put all this threats on our man. You can't have nukes and all this shit, man. They doing that for the exact same reason why they try to hide us from knowing our true identity as Israelites. They're scared. Okay, you know, a lot of these Edomites, they know that once we get to our power and Yahushua comes back, they have to pay for all the atrocities they did in slavery. Okay, you got to pay for all the atrocities you did to the Iranians, to Ishmael. All them people over there, they ain't forgot shit what you've done. So they're scared that they get the weapons and say, oh, they're going to use them against us. They're going to use them against us. But they might not actually do it. You know, but you being such a goddamn devil, and you wouldn't stop all these years. You're trying to get away from your accountability and your judgment, man.
Right.
Well, when you go into Joel, and also you go into Jeremiah, it's really for the controversy of Zion. The Lord is using them other nations. It tells you in second address, it says, for what they've done in my chosen, thou should do to them. So really the Lord is fighting this war on behalf of us, man, because this is going to be the war to liberate us from all hell, man, because we ain't in no position. Bro, what military do we got to fight in a foreign military, bro. It wasn't an ancient world. We had our own shit, bro. We're literally subject to this man. That's why you got Jake in the military, man. You know?
You owe the earth and trees and everything else reparations too, nigga.
Yeah.
You've been destroying everything.
And going back to what that brother Yawasab was saying, Iran is the biggest target because they don't want to play ball, man. Because once they get a nuclear weapon, speaking of, you know, and once they get a nuclear weapon, plus you include the way that they've been talking, death to America, death to Israel, we got to wipe away the infidel, that's going to give confidence to other nations to pursue things like that and say things like that. So they have to stump it out in order to send a message to the whole world saying, you know what, anybody who on this, you done. But that's not happening. As they say in Dallas, Iran got hands.
Hey, and they doubling down. They call you Baal worshippers now, little Satan, big Satan.
That's why the
Iran
scriptures
throwing
say that his strength should be hunger pit, man. You know? Everybody's seeing your flaws, bro. They seeing you. They're like, oh, this nigga ain't got no defense. Like, he getting hit with the jab, with the left hook, cross the right hand, pow. You know, he boom, hit him. Oh, yeah, we go head up with him. You know,
That's with the clip.
yeah, pop, pow, pow, pow.
He's sticking his ass.
Because, see, America's a bully, man. He's a bully. That's why Trump, he talked that shit, but hey, he piped down. You see, he called off, he was, I forgot, something this week he was supposed to, what was, damn, man, I think he was supposed to postpone that strike. Yeah, he postponed
10 days now.
Yeah, he postponed it. They're like, yeah, I dare you.
I'm warning you.
I dare you to do it.
Your mama say I'm gonna count to 5.
Yeah,
Then
he
you
said,
get down to 1.
I'm going to give niggas till next Friday to get right.
Like,
They said, come on. They telling y'all to come closer.
Yeah,
They want you to pull up.
yeah, they said they ain't worried about you, man. Precept, this is the book of Habakkuk 2, and I'm going to start at verses 9. And it says, woe to him that coveted evil covetous to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Yeah, man, it's just harboring resources to be untouchable, you know? Like, I think Iran is one of the only countries in the world, one of the only few countries in the world that doesn't have a Rothschild central bank set up in it. That's another problem for them small hats, man.
So is Cuba.
Yep, Cuba.
Shit, they on the list too.
Blackouts. Yeah, it's Purge 2.0 down there, man.
And like Venezuela was too, if I'm not mistaken.
At a point in
Venezuela
time.
was.
Yep.
That's no coincidence, man. Every single country that was last on the list to not have a central bank is now getting attacked. Power structure going down, getting missiles hit, getting invaded.
Yeah.
There's basically that time where Esau has got to go ahead from the top elites of Esau, Edom, to go ahead and bust a move on these other nations.
Yeah, because since when do you see a Rothschild sending out a fucking tweet, man?
But that's the ploy of it, brother. Like, you notice those countries that don't have the Rothschild central bank set up, they're more rich in minerals, oil reserves, like Venezuela. Bro, even more lucrative in oil in some cases than Iran. In Iran, 20% of the oil's world supply of oil and energy and so forth. They don't have Rothschild central bank set up in there because they know if that was to be the case, Esau, bro, he can go to the moon with that. He'll say, look, if we set up a central bank, we let you deal with our dollar, we gonna take care of you, we provide you support, military support, and Esau going in and liquidate all, bro, he'll go in and clean it out.
Facts.
Bro, like,
he ain't built nothing there. He ain't built up no schools, no roads.
he'll give you a dollar. He'll give you $1 billion. They're like, here, take. He's not give a fuck about that money.
Yeah, that's why he made the money, man. Because he know it ain't worth shit. It's just a talisman, man, of witchcraft, man. You know? You ever see that, like that, them old dollar bills? You look like $100 bill and like you wash it, the motherfucker turn into like a
Counterfeit.
$1 bill or like a piece of paper.
Yeah, that nigga basically playing with Chuck E. Cheese coins, man.
Yeah, fact.
It's like as long as you in the premises of Chuck E. Cheese,
Yeah, you
them
good.
coins is valuable.
Right.
You can play whatever games, do whatever. Once you step outside of that realm, them coins don't mean shit, man. And that's what they've been giving you people in exchange for real gold.
And it's fucked up too, brother, because that's the actual, it's funny money that's actually the legal tender now. That's fucking crazy. Monopoly money, you got to bargain with monopoly money that they've made the central reserve currency of the world. It's like, goddamn. That's the fucked up part about it. Is like, damn, like you got to play ball with the nigga to a certain degree, but the nation's got leverage now because they're seeing, once they realize your military was weakening and your military is a joke, that's when they started to find you, man. See, America at a point in time, they feared the military. They were like, these niggas is really about that business. But when they saw that you were losing power after the Cold War and you started letting homosexuals and giving women rights, they just started losing hope. And they're like, yeah, we got y'all niggas. Just give them about another 20 years. Bro, because they see it. You put women in power, eventually your society is going to die out, man.
Yep.
They were just patient. It's a game of patience, bro. Like when you boxing is patience, bro. Patience. Waiting for the right move, right angle, right form. You know what I'm saying? Right distance. Got him. Bow.
You notice them foreign nations, they stopped coming over here for a better life. They just came over here to get it back and go back home.
Yeah.
You know, to spoil you, man. Because America's the big bully that's been found out that don't have hands. See, you've been getting away by people. You were just so big, people are afraid to try you.
Yeah.
But now it's found out your whole military is outdated, man. That's Cold War. That them aircraft carriers, those are big sitting targets, man.
Yeah,
They
don't switch
slow.
up the-
They cost a lot of money. They cost a lot of manpower. Okay, you can't maneuver them. Like, and now they have drones and all kind of modern shit. They can just get your ass, man.
Yeah, they're still flying the fucking B-2 bomber. That shit was made in the 50s.
Bro,
I think late 50s, early 60s. It was,
right, back in the day, he came out with that shit. You know, you saw it beating on his chest. Look at this.
Right.
B-2 bombers.
Yeah.
Boy.
This
Let's bring out the last precept and wrap it up.
This Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18. I'm gonna start at verse 7 or 16. It says, "Alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls." And that's what this place was, man. At a certain point in time, this was the most profitable on the planet Earth, man. And it got it by the sword, man. It wasn't through diplomacy. It wasn't through making deals. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't being straight up guys in the earth. It was killing people and taking the sources, man. As Jake say in the hood, walk in the trap, take over your trap, man. That's what they've been doing. And it say, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company of ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And it say in 1 hour, man. So that, you have to imagine how bad are these Americans gonna fuck up to get the whole world to just obliterate their ass, man. So people are already mad at them for supporting the small hats, you know. So that means that the more that we go on, is the more you're gonna see bad decisions made on America's part that pisses off these nations, man. And it's all through the angels of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right. They working on Trump, man. Right. Angels got Trump like a little, you know, talking dummy. Ventriloquist and shit.
Yeah. 250 years of bullshit going in 1 hour.
Yep.
After that, wrap it up.
Yeah, it says, and when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this city? And they cast the dust in their heads, cried and weeping and wailing, alas, alas, that great city were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye your holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her, man. So, you know, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. We're going to give all praises, honor, and glory. It goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, bracket thumb to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Bob Babal.
Bob Babal.
Shalom.
Shalom.